Welcome to Colonize the Ocean Podcast, where we discuss oceanic colonization, exploration, and education with your hosts, Adam Jewell and Brendan Traxler.
What's going on today? It's your boy Adam, and over here is my other boy, Brendan. Brendan, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
It's been another one of those weeks where we haven't talked a whole lot.
No, it's been great.
I did ask you about where your dog was at, and you got really mad about it. So, I mean, that's been about.
First off, not my dog. It's my sister's dog.
And it's the family's dog.
Anyway. But yeah, what's been going on with you?
Nothing. I'm just trying to get through this week. We got a family vacation coming up this weekend, so
That's cool.
That. Oh, I'm hoping Babe joins us tonight because I'm wondering if he'll be able to.
No, he won't be.
He won't be joining us tonight?
This month? No, like you said, this month.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because I'll be coming back from vacation next Tuesday, and hopefully I'll be back before live stream, but I can't promise anything right now.
Well, you need to be back before live stream.
Well, maybe I can do it from the road.
Or maybe you can just wake up earlier and drive a little earlier.
It's a family vacation. I'm not going to rush my family home.
You have priorities.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, sir. But yeah, giving you a heads up now.
Yeah, well, thanks.
So, I mean, today we're going to be talking about if size matters when it comes to underwater habitats.
Yeah. So, before we get into that, I just want to comment that we've been getting some good comments from the YouTube crew after the fact. This last week, we got a couple of different comments on stuff people want to see. And one of them was a sci-fi, like underwater habitats in sci-fi and pulp and the fiction version 2, like an update. Because after we did what was it, like 2 years ago, I think it was.
Well, we did a live stream that we talked about those quite.
Yeah, but it wasn't designated. We did that one podcast. It was like 2 years ago or something like that. That was dedicated just to that, and we got some comments on that then too. But anyway, so we got that. Plus, we got another one which I thought was cool. Was they want to know about what governments and organizations are doing for ocean exploration and development. This person's from Canada, and they're talking about they have Ocean Networks Canada, which is kind of like NOAA here. So maybe like have to be able to do a little bit of research on. But what are the governments doing? And yes,
we don't need the government.
No, all right, but it's an informational type of thing.
Yeah, no, I know.
And with that, I was watching. So bunch of the YouTube stuff I consume is about SpaceX and space and stuff along those lines. And there's one I watch all the time, and they were going off, and he was complaining about how the general public isn't interested in space. I'm like, are you kidding me? I go, coming from the underwater world, you have 100 times more interest in space in your thing than we do, and you have Elon and Jeff Bezos and other people who are the heads of this thing that people are following. I mean, for us in the underwater world, so it's all relative. I just thought it was interesting that the sentiments of somebody in the space community feeling like the general public didn't care or wasn't around, behind the whole space thing.
So you think you're better than everyone else because of that?
What are you doing over there?
I was doing a little side reading while we were doing this for something that I want to bring up at the end.
Okay.
It is podcast related. Sorry.
Okay.
Or live stream related. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say is like, yeah, that's I don't know. Yeah, I would have thought the opposite, where it's just like nobody or like everybody has been like paying attention to the like the SpaceX stuff, the Virgin Galactic stuff, and it's just like we're the ones trying to fight to get some like attention on what we're doing.
Yeah, I know that's not true because I have several people I talk to, like at churches and like that. They have like no idea. They're just amazed about what's going on with the whole thing. So I mean, yes, I know the general public is not, but I think per capita, it's probably a higher rate that are interested in space than the underwater. but I digress. So, you want to talk about your thing at the end, I guess?
Actually, we can talk about it right on the top real quick.
Sure.
And it doesn't have a lot to do, or it doesn't have anything to do with what we do, but it's something that I feel as being good people, what we should do. And I'm going to get some links typed up and I'll put them and I'll run them at the end real quick. But I just would like to encourage everybody to go to like either the salvationarmy.org or there's SBP-donate. In regards to Hurricane Ida, these are good organizations that if anybody's capable of making little donations to help the people out who have faced the damages and all that of Hurricane Ida. So, like I said, I just feel like we should do our part in telling people to help out where they can or asking people to help out where they can.
Yeah, our church went down last Saturday down there, and we sent tons of water. I mean, it was so much water, and supplies and stuff was sent down. So we're all part of that. And they said that the water was like gone in like no time. They said it was lined up. It was like nonstop for the whole time. They're there all day long. So it's just like, even though we're weeks out and most of the power's back on in a lot of places and people are coming back home, it's just been so and this wasn't even as bad as like Katrina and stuff along those lines, but still the devastation was pretty bad. So yeah,
the one for sure. I mean, the Salvation Army is just a good organization in general. Like they don't. You hear about a lot of these fun like charity organizations that pocket a lot of the donations just to run the organization. And I have not heard any of that kind of thing with Salvation Army. Also, this other one that I was talking about is the SBP. SBP. They SBP USA. Sorry, they that goes to helping like rebuild houses and stuff like that because there's going to be a lot of places that have a lot of damage and stuff. So it's an organization for that. But like I said, I'll make little tickers that we can put on the end of the show just as a friendly reminder. But
yeah,
I just thought it'd be a good idea that we do that. Now
cool.
we can talk about how big the habitat has to be.
Yeah.
How did you want to kick it off, buddy?
There we go. Glenn's already chiming in there.
Thank you, Glenn. Yeah. Side story. Sorry, that's where my grandparents attended church all their life and stuff. Is we have
The Salvation Army?
Yeah, the Salvation Army. Well, at least where I live, anyways, has a church. It's a church.
Weird.
Yeah. Maybe that's just here, so I shouldn't say like, yeah, they're a part of the Salvation Army Church, but I'm pretty sure like it's I don't know, they had a church at the Salvation Army here, so
I've never been to the Salvation Army that had a church in it, so.
Well, maybe I'm weird. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep quiet. Anyways, thank you, Glenn. All right, let's start. Sorry.
Yeah, so I was thinking, what do we talk about? And with Fabian Cousteau, he keeps on. There's more every week. I see something else where he's doing some speaking engagement and talking about Proteus, in this giant underwater habitat. So I got research. I'm like, all right. So Proteus is like 4,000 square feet is what they're saying. How big does a habitat really need to be? So I got looking back at different sizes of habitats, and there's one guy, Lloyd Godson, and anybody in the underwater habitat knows who he is. He's New Zealand, I think, or Australian. Anyway, who built BioSub 1, which is basically like a steel container, and he lived in it for, I think, 12 days. And basically he powered it just like a bicycle that powered a generator. He like made his own oxygen and stuff like that with like algae. So he's like he raised all the money. I think he built it for $50,000. So he did that, and then he built a smaller one, and it was like in a Legoland aquarium. And so the smaller one was 40 square feet. So it was super tiny. He stayed there for a while. So I was like, there's your far end of it with the 40 square feet, which is big enough for one person barely. It has like no amenities really. And then you keep on going up. And I started looking at them. At the ones around Jules, it's just a little under 400 square feet. So that's like 10 times
right
the size of that. And same thing with Aquarius. Aquarius is right around 400 square feet. So that seems to be about the standard for underwater habitats as of in existence right now. Then you go looking at what Proteus wants to do, and that's 4,000 square feet. So that's another 10 times on top of that. So you're getting these huge things. And then I got looking. All right, let's look at Poseidon Undersea Resort and Planet Ocean Underwater Hotel, two other giant ones out there. What they're proposing. So I did the math on those, and Planet Ocean Underwater Hotel would be 2,500 square feet, but Poseidon would be 13,000 square feet of livable space. Yeah, so it's like so. Obviously, there's a price point that comes with all of these. But how big does it really need to be? And I think a lot of it boils down to what the purpose of it is too. But I think that's why with us that we're more of a modular approach where you can add on to it as you need be. But I think it still begs the question: is how big is too big, or how small is too small?
Well, and the cool thing about this conversation is that we kind of have a blueprint to go off in a way with seeing the surge in like this tiny house movement thing, because so many people are trying to the people that get really creative are all about like, how can we make this like livable space or utilize the most out of a livable space. So I mean, you see a lot of these people that are the size of a small shipping container can make like a small habitat. I shouldn't say habitat. Well, like a tiny home.
Yeah.
For like, a person or a couple or whatever. Out of like, the 20-foot containers, the 40-foot containers, whatever it may be. And I'm always fascinated with like watching it because of how they can utilize the space and still get like, the showers in there, have like a little kitchen area, have a place to, a decent place to sleep. Not like having a tiny like single bed, but like, a lot of cases like a queen bed or at least a full, it's just kind of cool watching how people put all that together. So, I mean, we have the blueprint in a sense based off of what other people have done. So, and my thoughts on the whole situation is that a person could make a livable habitat with going off of the frame of what people have already done if you were just to add a little bit of space for a moon pool. Really.
Right. And I think the big difference, between that is, when you look at the tiny house community and something along those lines, is the thing they have going for them is to make more space. They can open a door and walk outside and put a platform or something on that. Because, you're confined inside a 20 or a 40-foot shipping container, which is 8 by 8 by 20 or 40. So it's not huge. But once again, I think it goes back to first off, how long you'll be staying in there at a period of time, and what's your purpose of being there? Because a 20-foot shipping container is right around 160 square feet, so it's not huge. If you did a 40-foot, you'd be like 320 or something along those lines. I don't know. Math would be somewhere in there. So at 40, you're starting to get closer to the inside space of Aquarius or Jules. And having been inside Jules, that's plenty of space. Obviously, it's broke up a little bit differently. I don't know about Aquarius, except for what videos and stuff I've seen. So yeah, once again, I'm trying to make more of these videos here that are, or these more podcasts or wherever these may be, that are more get people thinking and asking the question more than just information out there. Obviously, there's information in here, but it's one of those things I want the community really to feedback on too. Is what is the ideal size realistically for an underwater habitat? Because yes, obviously we all want the giant dome structures and plenty of space, but you have to look at cost. You have to look at tons of different things, and so realistically, where is the right size? And Glenn has already got us information here. Bigger is always better, but the cost is primarily a concern. A normal house size keeps humans more inclined to accept a change. Safety and environmental guidelines will be of value to those wishing to experience our world. If Aunt May's would be able to live there better. Yeah. And if I get what you're saying, and that's kind of what I've been saying the whole time, is that the whole goal is that it has to be seamless transition from the land to the sea, and it has to be accessible for anybody to be able to live there. It doesn't matter your age, if you're handicapped. Um, Obviously, at first, the smaller ones, claustrophobia and stuff will come into play. Um, but yeah,
I just pulled up some like this is a lot of these are like 20 foot,
right.
give or takes. Um,
You need an ad blocker, dude.
yeah, probably. I just typed in tiny home. Sorry, but yeah, keep going. I was just
No, and I say especially like with the bed and stuff on those. You're looking at beds, but like now with Murphy beds and stuff like that, that can save a bunch of space by having like a Murphy bed. And like you said, because there's so much groundwork and blueprints already put out there for tiny homes, there is millions of hours probably on YouTube alone of how to build a tiny home. And so how to build the shelving, how to get the best sink in there, the bathroom, all these different designs. So yeah, um, the design elements alone aren't I don't think going to be the bad part about it. Those are pretty simple.
mm-hmm.
It's going to be the structural aspects, and when you outgrow that, or if you expect you are living there, then what if you want to change it or you want to grow? What do? Obviously, my answer is you add on another module, and you expand from there, and you just keep on adding on as need be. But yeah, I'm just really fascinated with the tiny home community anyway. So I think it's that's kind of how we got to where we're at with Atlanta Sea Colony too. Back when you first came on, we obviously changed some key elements of the design to kind of meet into that element. Yeah, like Glenn says, that would have worked great for me and you. The reward of being there would attract those with this inclination to try. Yeah, I'd say obviously, it's going to be those of us who are passionate about it, like anything, with any new change or any new technology or anything. It's those passionate about it are going to be the first ones to try it. And then once other people see you doing it, we're like, all right, so they didn't die. I'll go try this out. And then once more and more people try it, then you start getting people on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram posting, and then it starts blowing up from there. And so that's why, Adam and me are very big on, once we start building this thing, that we are going to blast the social media out of it to get people, as we're building it, here's what we're doing, and here's what's going on, to get people excited about it. But still, the real excitement is going to come once it's actually in the water and people actually see it.
Yeah.
I think that's really going to change it. But then it goes back to the whole thing. Is a 20-foot, 40-foot shipping container or something that size, is that big enough?
Yeah, and you have to take into account what what's the word I'm looking for? What you plan on your stay being too. Do you want to live there, or do you just want to like be there for a weekend, a short vacation? Because that changes everything. Because you live somewhere, the supplies and space and all that stuff you need drastically changes. If you're, for example, this weekend, me and my family are going on a trip for a few days. We're going to be gone, staying at a hotel. Hotel rooms are great for when you just want a place to sleep and use the bathroom, shower, and all that. But if you were to force me and my family to live in a hotel room, we would all kill each other. So it's like, it comes down to what your long-term plans are. I guess my thoughts have always been, what we build would probably be great for vacation stays or a single person who is willing to stay long term. By saying that, I'm looking at, your 20-foot, 20-foot to 40-foot area, or a single module being enough for a person or like a couple to live at or stay at. And then after that, depending on how many and how long, is when you start having to increase the size.
Yeah, it also depends on the people too, because I know some people are very much minimalist and they're fine with the tiny homes, and they're cool with living in small, little, compact areas. But once again, the pros that they have is the ability to leave as will and get some fresh air per se, which you're not going to. I mean, being able to leave is one thing, but you're not going to be able to just walk outside and get fresh air. You got to, put scuba on, a gear, and you got to swim out and go up, all that kind of stuff. And it's not as easy as just walking out the door, which eventually has to be the answer. But at first, it won't be. So that's definitely going to be that's something that's going to cause hesitation with some people. And Glenn's got some more feedback here for us. For the first step, yes, with a bigger plan for the future, set deadlines, meet them as best we can, and then reset future plans based on resources available. Yeah, I think the iteration that we see, and that's why, I'm more keen on, why I keep on going back to the shipping container, and why I've explained to multiple people that we can build a shipping container, put it underwater, sink it or fail with it multiple times versus the cost of having something constructed that meets the needs. Because I know the first one's not going to work right. There'll be something we'll learn from it. It may leak. It may implode. Who knows? We don't know. And I mean, hopefully it's not going to implode. But there's going to be things we want to change. And so there may be 5 or 6 different versions till we get to a final version of it. And so iteration of any design, I think, is going to be key. And, not to digress or even talk about things, but we see that with Elon Musk and the Starship, stuff like that. I mean, he straight up knows he's going to blow these sectors up while he tests and figure out what works and what doesn't work. But with that line of thinking, you're able to move so much faster because you're not crossing your T's and dotting your I's on every little thing. You're just going as fast as you can. So, yeah, exactly, Glenn. Exactly like Elon Musk plan. Because, yeah, I think that you can. I think cost-wise, that makes more sense. And so, yeah, I think I went a little off track there, but and I also don't think we ever have necessarily. And I honestly don't think there is an answer to the question: is bigger better? Because there's so many variables that come into play of like you said, who's living there, how long is it? Just an Airbnb type of situation? Is it a permanent residence? Is it what is it?
Yeah, I think it all depends on what you're looking for, really. Like I said, is that, and I foresee a day in the future where, maybe we can help build a hotel that has different features, different sizes of whatever, or, I never ended up posting it on our social media. I did years ago, but like when I went to the Omaha Zoo, and they have one of those walk-through aquariums where everything's above you and stuff. And I just think that's so cool. And I keep on thinking, it's like, man, this would be cool. Like if you were, say, like in a habitat and like this, but like even bigger. Like say like you're just like in a big open room, but the whole thing is open above you. Like be able to see not just like a window, which is cool, but like just everything above you is just like the ocean, the water, like being able to see everything for like I just think something like that would be cool to see. But I mean, that's a big structure as well. So,
yeah.
But but that would be like a tourism commercial type feature, whereas opposed, it's like, you don't need that to live. You don't need that for whatever. I mean, You can enjoy a good view with a small, medium-sized window, but, so yeah, I think every need and every aspect is going to be a little bit different, but I think it's safe to say that our the stage 1 prototype, whatever it is, like once say we can sink it and it doesn't implode or whatever it is, that it would be a good use for single or double occupants, like I said, a couple or whatever, or for longer stays if need be, or to be used like a good like hotel scuba shop type thing, whatever it is that so it does have multiple uses, maybe not all the uses in the world, but still has good features.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, once again, I don't know, man. I'm just excited. I'm just I'm ready to do this thing. Let's get it done. Let's see what's Glenn got saying here. Yes, government grants I looked at actually a couple years ago. Decided against those at the time. Absolutely, I definitely would like to do some kind of partnership with some organization or some company. I've been hitting up a bunch of different, like Ocean X and a bunch of companies like that, Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute. I've messaged, emailed a bunch of different stuff, trying to get some kind of, at least get them to acknowledge that we're here type of thing. Hey, here's what we're doing. We believe it meets in your ecosystem. How can we, be a part of this type of thing? Again, it's not my forte, so I'm doing what I can. But yeah, absolutely. If there was companies out there, and you talk about GM, that's kind of how Cousteau was able to build his Conshelf programs, is because of a industrial company for gas and oil, I think it was. So yeah, I definitely think the private sector is definitely the way to go, as far as getting some kind of funding for it. Unless we find some investor that's really passionate and gets the vision. And as I've talked with people, especially since the seasteading thing, tons of people have been talking to them, and very few of them, I think, are really grasping what we're trying to do here to my liking. And maybe it's my failure of explaining it well enough. I even got somebody hit me up again this morning on LinkedIn, wanting to do something. So from the seasteading group. So yeah, once again, money and location. Those are the two big things. And honestly, I'm the money aspect. I think once we have a hard idea of how much everything's going to cost, which I'm working on right now, I think we can raise the money. I think we've got enough supporters out there. I think there's enough people that understand, have been with us long enough, that will definitely help us fill in the gaps that we need financially. The big thing is going to be where we're going to put it. And with that, I'm really hoping some of the seasteaders step up for that, and we're able to do something with them. And they can supply the surface support, and we can put something in the water. So there's a lot of things that need to fall into place, but I'm very optimistic. And once again, I'm not trying to rush it, but I am anxious to get it done.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I rambled there for quite a while, and
no.
all I get's a yeah.
Well, no, and one of the things too that does, I mean, the adversity we the face with it is that, when we do get a chance to talk with people, and it's, first of all, it's something that has rarely ever been done before. Very rarely has this been done. A lot of people have failed to understand it, because like we were talking before we went live, is that basically all the eyes in the world are on the space race. I don't know if you want to call it a space race, but whatever you might want to call it. And it's fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, it's very cool. There's going to be so many opportunities in the future because of what's going on with that. But we're trying to compete in a field where that's where a lot of people think that the next step is. But so trying to convince them, it's like, no, this can be a very beneficial thing for so many different facets of, I guess, habitation, whether it's commercial, vacation destinations, whatever. But then just being able to say, they're like, okay, so, who's all a part of your team, and what do you got? And all that. It's just like, hey, it's me and Brendan. It's Brendan and I, whatever. Like, that's where we're at right now. So, I mean, depending on the people and the investors and all that, a lot of companies that want to invest in things want to invest in something that already has a ton of money anyways, which is, kind of the unfair thing, when you think about it, because a lot of companies have quite a bit of capital to start off with, to where they can show something right off the bat, whereas we're still trying to earn that spot, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and Glenn's comment here about take the amount of money and double it. When it gets to that place, I have friends all over the country want to help. And I agree. Back when I was in IT, when we did the big projects and stuff like that, once we had everything line itemized, I actually built at one point in time an Excel spreadsheet that took all the stuff and then it slapped, I think it's like a 15% addition onto it, just because we knew there's all these other little things that come into play that you don't want to account for. Thing. So, yeah, exactly. Doubling it is probably a safe thing, especially I think with construction. People would agree with that too, and especially in today's day and age with prices fluctuating so much. Once you actually get to building the thing, the prices could have doubled already. And your question about how long have you two been working on this? Well, Adam, you've been here what, 3 years?
2.5, I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been full 3.
I think for me, it's been like 26 years. Yeah, I mean, I came up with the idea back in high school, back in the mid 90s.
80s. Oh, sorry.
It was not the 80s. So yeah, but like I say, actively turning it into an LLC and pursuing it from a financial aspect of having a bank account, throwing money into there, and being aggressive on the social media has been 3 or 4 years, I think, maybe 5. It's been 4 anyway. But besides that, before that, back in the Atlanta Sea Colony website has been up since the early 2000s, and before that, there was a free website up. So there's been a presence online for almost 20 years. Well, over 20 years. And back in the day, I was emailing people like Bruce Jones, back when it was still U.S. submarines. Shot a couple of emails to him. Who else? Some other people back then too. I was in Yahoo groups back in the late 90s, early 2000s, back with those. And we had several people that we're talking about. I actually still have one guy's designs from back then in a folder. I can't find the guy anymore. I wish I could. He had some cool designs, so we talked quite a bit back then. So yeah, it's been a passion project for a quarter of a century, definitely. But actually starting to really put money and the time I should into it. It's been about 5 years now. So, But yeah, Adam decided to hop on a couple years ago, and definitely, if you go back and look at the Facebook from 4 years ago versus when he came on, there's obviously a drastic difference in the content and what we're doing, because it'd be me posting just stupid crap. I mean, whatever I could. Well, I mean, it was very minimal. Just trying to figure out what to post and how to post it. You came along, you took over, which has been huge. So
it's been fun.
Yeah,
it's been giving me opportunities outside of this too. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool. All righty, man. Well, no, Glenn. I mean, we appreciate you. Yeah, you got you in there. I've sent you a request on. I don't know if you ever accepted or not, but so you can actually post directly to the Facebook page. We'll have to talk about that maybe offline, some of those lines. So you don't have to. So you can post and schedule stuff out accordingly. Because the more we can get off of Adam of social media stuff, the more we can focus him on some other things I'd like him to be doing. But yeah, the social media takes, as you know, Glenn, because you do your own social media page too with Facebook and stuff. Plus, we've got LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff. So we got a lot of stuff going on to keep up with.
You ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, I got those banners, by the way. So, like I said, for the Hurricane Ida thing, sbpusa.org. That one's the one that helps rebuild and sends volunteers to.
You want to? I'll throw them in the chat so they're clickable.
Oh.
Hey, thanks, Glenn.
Yeah, let's do that. Got one right here.
So then people can directly click on them and go directly from there. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Okay. And then also we have, oops, sorry. I'm not used to doing this part. Give.helpsalvationarmy.com.
.org.
.org. Sorry, yeah, I'm putting that one in too. So if you're feeling generous, I mean, if you can help, help. Brendan, like you said, brought him and his church help by donating some water, which is very cool.
Oh, we did a bunch of stuff: water, food, supplies.
Yeah.
But water was the big thing. That went through tons of water.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go through what we normally go. AtlantisSeaColony.com. From there, you can find our social medias. That's the Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. That's Discord. Did you get the Discord link up on the website?
So yeah, I was gonna say I actually went through this last week. I changed some things on the website, so definitely go back there. We have a social media page now on there where I put everything on there, so it's easier to find. Plus, the resources page is up there. I got some other pages I'm working on right now, but yeah, there's a lot more information up there. The page has definitely got more information than it's ever had before.
Yep, and check out that resources page because there's tons of books and
podcasts and everything on there.
Yeah, that relates kind of to like what we do in a sense. Okay, and also patreon.com/Atlantis Sea Colony. Thank you to our patrons, Edward Haas, Brian Acosta, and S. Babe Hyde.
And speaking about that, you want to join with Discord and Patreon. If you're a Patreon member, you get elite status in the Discord. Which here, while you're talking, I'll find the Discord link and throw it up in there again too.
Okay. Yeah, so we do the $1 a month, $5 a month donation option. So if you're capable of helping us and do that, we appreciate it. Also, PayPal.me/Atlantis Sea Colony if you want to do like one-time donation. So any amount, you can go to PayPal.me/Atlantis Sea Colony, and all that helps us. So appreciate that. AtlantisSeaColony.com/merch. Check out the Atlantis Sea Colony hat. Check out, dude. I know that like your shirt's faded because of like how you washed it, but it looks cool.
I know
the way you have it like that. Like I do like the look of it.
I do too.
Yeah, so go there, and we have a bunch of cool designs there. We got the hammerhead, we got the octopus, we got the shield, the trident and shield. So go check that out. Yeah, and that's all we got for now, guys. So thank you very much for tuning in once again. Next Tuesday, you will see us back. I might be running late. We'll see. But other than that, Brendan, I will talk to you after this. And for the rest of you, we will see you next week.